everyone deserves food and shelter, what would cause you to be more confident in that being true?
That's a hard.
Are you okay if I record?
Absolutely.
Great. Awesome. Thanks for stopping.
Sure. Heck, I'm 69 years old. You know, I got time.
Awesome. All right, Marlon. Is it just Marlon, or do you have to
Marlon.
say the whole
No,
Marlon
Marlon's
Brando?
fine. But,
Marlon? Okay.
But a lot of people on the waterfront know him as Marlon Brando.
Okay.
Some people actually call him the unofficial mayor of the waterfront.
That's awesome.
And before COVID, when we had a lot of tourists, quite a few from Asian countries, you know, Japanese, China, Korea, and many people would ask to take pictures with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so being the outside agitator that I am, and then I would say, sure, and would you like my picture too? No. They just wanted the picture of the dog.
Famous around here, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we know Marlon's name.
Yep. My name's Steve.
What's your first name? Steve?
Yeah.
Steve?
Correct.
Good to meet you, Steve. I'm David.
Hi, David.
Did I explain what I was doing
Yep.
well enough?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
All right, and if I remember right, the idea that you wanted to explore, the conclusion you wanted to explore was everyone deserves food and shelter.
Everyone deserves food and shelter.
Okay. All right.
And if that's true, and it would seem pretty much most people would go along with that, then why are we so far short of that? Why is that?
That would be a good question for me to ask.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the main reason that supports this for you?
The main reason is basic decency, I think being human, and human beings, we should be treating human beings with dignity, respect, compassion. Where are we as a society if we don't?
Okay. So the main reason is everyone deserves food and shelter because society benefits
Absolutely benefits from it. You betcha.
for the benefit of society.
For the benefit of society, the world at large.
Okay. Why is it important to you for society to be benefited?
I have a stake. I have kids. I want my kids to grow up in a world. Well, they're grown. I want my kids to live in a world where kindness and decency is expressed. Both of them do a good job with that, but they don't always experience that as the norm. And I think we could go a long way towards eradicating the polar differences in politics and in in politics, if people had enough, if people had enough, and I believe that there is wealth, far more than enough wealth, that everybody could have enough, and there would still be wealthy people.
Got it. So an example of the expression of the benefit of society is that the people that do have would still have enough, even if everyone else that needed food and shelter would receive it.
Right. And if everybody had enough, if people weren't worried about those kinds of basic needs, we could have more people working on crises in the world. Taking care of other people, take weather crises, medical issues, doing research. There'd just be a much larger pool to draw from, to get people working on these things, again, for the betterment of society. But if you get up wondering, if your shelter is going to be there when you go to bed, and if you're going to have enough to eat, if you're going to be able to feed your kids, then you are not free to work on those kinds of issues.
Got it. So it's almost like that kind of hierarchy of needs, where if you don't have food and shelter, it's really difficult to achieve other.
Maslow. Yeah, you betcha. You betcha.
Okay. Everyone deserves food and shelter. Why don't we have that now?
I think because we have been inculcated with the model of success that says if you have more, you win. The more you have, the more valuable you are to society, the more worth you have, the more notice you get, the more approbation you get. If there were justice in the world, this is my little radical piece, that I've heard from others, of course, that, if teachers made what CEOs make, and CEOs made what teachers make, think of what a world that would produce.
Why does the world need to be just?
Well, it doesn't. It doesn't need to be just. Well, I think ultimately it does. I think when you get societies that history has shown that when there's too much of a disparity between the haves and have-nots, then violence ensues. Eventually, violence will happen. And
The world needs to be just, otherwise there's violence.
otherwise, Otherwise, chaos. Otherwise, if the have-nots so demonstratively don't have when they see other people that do, they become willing to, throw caution to the wind and be violent, and maybe they're justified. Um, you know,
They're the have-nots, as you say. If they don't have food and shelter, it's possible that they would be justified in causing violence.
Impossible. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Especially when other people do have. Again, I'm not opposed to free market society. I'm opposed to a free market society run rampant, that doesn't, that there is no like a basic minimum. God bless what's his name, the former presidential candidate.
Bernie?
No, the one who wanted to give everybody $1,000 a month.
Yang?
Yang.
Andrew Yang.
Andrew Yang. Yeah. I think, going back as far, well, even farther, but like the French Revolution comes to mind. People started seeing, holy shit, Louis the 16th lives an insanely, ridiculously wealthy life, and we're in the gutter, literally in the gutter. Our kids are starving, and then what happened? Then chaos, societal chaos. Yes, I guess some people could make an argument that said that's just the correction that we need, but I'm not sure that we do. I'm not sure that we need to get that far.
You're in favor of free market with limits.
Yeah, absolutely. You betcha.
Can I ask a kind of a side question?
Sure.
How do you decide when violence is justified?
I don't know. I just can envision when violence is justified is if people can't feed themselves or their kids, and there is plenty of food and they're denied access to it.
Violence is justified when there's resources, but people can't access it.
Correct. Yeah. When people are denied access to those resources.
Yeah. Okay. So back to everyone deserves food and shelter. Is there anything that could change your mind about that?
I can't imagine what that would be. Are you like globally? Like, is there are you asking? Is there a situation in which I would say, yeah, it's fine if these people from this geographic, if they starve, it's fine.
Yeah. Is there any?
No, I can't think of any people that I would say that about.
Okay. There's no situation that you could think of where this would not be true.
Correct. That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything that would cause you to raise your confidence about this?
That would make me feel hopeful, in other words?
Yeah, like everyone deserves food and shelter. What would cause you to be more confident in that being true?
That's a hard. At first, I thought you were asking for like what signs and symptoms would I need to see to make me think that were becoming true. State your question again.
Well, I like the way that you phrased that. What would you have to see to convince you even more that everyone deserves food and shelter?
Oh, no, there's nothing. I've said it. I flat out said, everyone deserves it. There's no more to say.
Nothing could increase your confidence in that?
In confidence in the belief? No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So
I'm looking for signs and symptoms that it's coming true.
Okay.
And it's going the other way. I worked for a food concern that basically started like 40 years ago with the notion of helping people who are food insecure. Well, now this organization, I think last year, 39% of the clients were houseless. That's not who they were working with housed people who were running out of money to buy food or having to make the choice, do I get food? Do I get cancer drugs? That kind of. Now it's when I operate this pantry 1 day a week, it operates 3 days a week, and as a volunteer, I run it 1 day a week. And now I'm find myself hoarding food that somebody that's camping could eat.
Yeah.
And what is that food?
Right.
That's not very nutritious food. It's things like chips and ready-made stuff, and that number of people are growing. Just in the couple of years I've been doing this, I've seen a huge increase in the number of people accessing our pantry. A huge increase. Now every week I get somebody coming up to me, and because I kind of do the intake, because I want to take the temperature. I want to see if anybody's really upset, having a mental health issue or something like that. But I'll get people coming up and registering. 2 years ago, the clients we had were like 85-90% of them were people we saw, monthly.
Like they had their shelter needs met,
and
they would just need to
interrupt myself. Those two dogs there, they just went by. Greatest. Their names are Ben and Jerry. Jerry
awesome.
is Geraldine, but it's still Ben and Jerry.
Sure. Yeah, like ice cream.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
I just get a kick out of stuff like that. And he gets a kick out of this guy being Marlon Brando.
Yeah, I bet.
And Marlon Brando, we have a neighbor. We live right there in these condos right there.
Okay.
And our neighbor who takes care of him, her dog passed away about 6-8 months ago, and she's finally ready for a new one. She adopted a shelter dog. Shelter dog's name, Betty White. So we call it the celebrity floor.
Nice. Everybody's named after.
Oh, and also on the floor, Ziggy Marley.
That sounds like a fun floor.
Yeah.
That sounds like a really fun floor to live on.
Yeah.
Okay,
going back to this.
Yeah, okay, so...
So I get people saying, what do I do? I've never come to a food pantry before.
They're kind of anxious about being
embarrassed. Really embarrassed a lot of time.
You don't have to whisper, we've got the...
Yeah. No, I'm just kind of imitating my client.
Oh, I see.
They don't yell, "Hey, I'm first timer." They're looking around. They don't want people to know. Our food pantry operates under the auspices of Oregon Food Bank, and we have to keep a certain amount of data, mostly so we know how much food to try and obtain, so we get our share, but not more than our share, because Oregon Food Bank helps operate quite a few pantries in the greater Portland area. And so even just last summer, there would be weeks where there would be no new paperwork, nothing, nobody signing up. And last Friday, I bet you I signed up 10 new people from 2 o'clock to 5:30 in the afternoon. Just unheard of.
So the numbers are increasing. That you're noticing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that I'm waiting for that to come down. I'd like to see that come down. Also, food is getting harder to source. And we have become aware that we are a global community. One of the things that's causing the food to be harder to source is what's happening in the Ukraine. It really does trickle.
It's having an effect on accessibility,
supply chain, accessibility, all sorts of things. Yeah. So.
Okay. All right. So
I'm not sure this has done any good for you, but
no, this is great. So just to wrap up.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves food and shelter. Main reason is benefit of society, and there's nothing that could cause you to shift more or less confident about that.
No, it just flat out, that's it. Everyone deserves food and shelter. There's nobody that doesn't deserve that, in my view. And I believe at some point more people are going to come to that conclusion, and we might not appreciate the result of that. If people have to resort to taking it rather
Like
than
violence, like you were saying.
rather than it being offered, and I don't mean in charity way or a entitled way. I mean in a way of sharing, of trying to build the beloved community. Yeah, that's what I got.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks so much for
Thank you,
stopping.
David. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice
it was
to
great to
chat
meet
with
you,
you.
Steve
Yeah.
and Marlon
Yeah.
Brando. If you see me out here again and
Yeah.
you want to explore something else, feel free to
All right.
have a seat. We'll have another chat.
All right.
And
Take
go
care.
Ducks.
Go Ducks. Yep.
It's really coming down. Do you have something in mind?
What a game last Friday.
I didn't see it.
What's happening?
I didn't see it.
Oh my gosh. Did you hear about it?
No.
Oh my gosh. They're down for the whole game. They score 21 in the last 2 minutes and 48 seconds and come back and win. They looked El Succo for most of it.
I'll have to catch
Most
the
of it.
replay. Who were they playing?
Washington State.
Okay.
I always
Cougars.
say, beware of Wazoo. They have broken our hearts before. and Washington State played beautiful. They have a quarterback who is really multi-talented, really talented kid. Oregon has grit though, and by God, they did not give up. 21 points, 2 minutes and 48 seconds.
Wow, what a comeback.
Yeah, yeah.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
Two.
Take care.